Good morning from Vietnam. We are on our way to get some banh mi's before going to the Chu Chi tunnels.
We booked a tour with Get Your Guide, and hopefully it'll be a very informative day.
Yeah, it's all about education today. I'm interested to learn some more.
Coming here, we were kind of told that the traffic would be absolutely insane compared to Thailand. Like, the middle line doesn't count, cars will drive on whatever side of the road, it'll just be complete chaos. And we have not seen that at all. I don't know, maybe we'll see it in other places in Vietnam, but so far Ho Chi Minh has been super organized. They stick to their side of the road. It hasn't been that hard to cross the roads. There's lots of crossing signs. And here, I feel like they listen to it a bit more than even in Thailand, so totally opposite to what we've heard.
And what we expected, really, so yeah. It's a pleasant surprise.
Yeah.
A little bit more organized. And everyone on a bike here is surprisingly wearing a helmet.
Love to see it.
It's safety first. We've just made our way from the banh mi place to our tour so that we can wait for our pickup. We don't want to miss it.
I got the shredded chicken.
And I got the barbecue pork. It looks really good, crispy, bun. It looked good when she was making it. Got the sesame sauce in it that I love to put in my pho. This is a really good banh mi.
I love shredded chicken. It's what I get back home. This one's a bit spicy. It's loaded with veggies.
Honestly, if your bread isn't making an absolute mess of where you're sitting,
it's not a good banh mi. This is my first time having one with pate. I think I like it more without, but it is really great to try.
It's not a strong enough flavor, the pate, for me to even notice it, so I'm happy either way. We have successfully made it onto the bus, and the travel time is 1 hour and 40 minutes to get to the Chu Chi tunnels.
Dang, it doesn't look that far away on the map.
The first stop on our tour to the Chu Chi tunnels is to a handicap village where they do lacquer paintings, and it is because the government here has created these villages for the people who either are missing limbs or mentally handicapped from what was known as Agent Orange, which was a chemical herbicide used against the Vietnam, army during the Vietnam-America War. And this is a way for them to kind of take the burden off of the government to support handicapped people, and they sell art here.
So we're gonna check it out.
Lacquer paintings are much more of a puzzle than an actual painting, and on this tour they got to show us the entire process. It starts with duck egg, mother of pearl, and other thin materials like that, specifically duck egg because it is stronger than a chicken egg. Once the design is shaped on the canvas, it's covered in lacquer and turns completely black. The next step is wet sanding until the image reveals itself. At this point, the image is still very dull, and a good polish with a can of car cream seems to do the trick. Like we said, the reason for this is that the government is trying to take the burden off the community for the individuals affected by Agent Orange, and this is a beautiful way that they were able to do that.
We're just in the gallery now, and it's pretty interesting how all this works. I've never seen this kind of art before.
It's really beautiful. I really am a fan.
And I think if we had the money, we would probably buy something, but a 4-panel piece is about 18 million dong, which is 900 Canadian. So
a little bit of kind of a price range.
There's a lot of different selection though. You can get little chopsticks, little keepsakes.
It's really cool here.
We have arrived, our bus is just driving to the parking lot, and our tour guide said some interesting things to us that I'm going to explain to you quickly. 2 things that I thought were quite interesting. 215 kilometers of underground tunnels.
So many kilometers.
It started out a lot smaller, and then during the wartime,
just kept expanding. They ended up having libraries, kitchens, bathrooms, even clinics they had down in these tunnels.
And part of the thing that he said that I thought was super interesting was that Americans, they maybe come to Chu Chi and they spend an hour here, a couple days, a couple weeks, and the Vietnamese army, they would spend a couple hours, a couple days, a couple weeks, a couple months in the tunnels and just live down there. And right now we're going to go see the tunnels and probably be able to go inside some of them. But our body types, at least for me, I probably wouldn't have fit in the tunnels at the time of the war because the Vietnamese army, they were a lot smaller than an American. So yeah, it's just very interesting.
They've gone in and they've expanded the tunnels so more people can go into them, but it's just very interesting.
So I'm gonna say, I think that we're saying Chu Chi wrong. It's supposed to be Ku Chi, but it's everywhere that's spelled, it's Chu Chi, so I'm gonna say it like that for this video.
The first thing we saw was a diagram depicting the war and showing the tools they used to dig the tunnels. They were so elaborate, even with trapdoors and underwater entrances.
How many rooms? For example, this one is meeting rooms, and this is the kitchen.
Our guide then took us to a trapdoor, which these different traps were one of the superpowers of the Vietnam Army during this war. And this is an example of a realistic entrance to the tunnel system. Watch me barely fit through it. It was super tight, and I can't believe that this is what was done. And the top usually covered in some leaves, but in this case, they definitely would have got me.
Even I was scared I wasn't gonna fit. That's how small this thing is. One thing our guide told us as I was going into the hole was that there was actually a lot of women that were part of the Viet Cong army during this time, which was really interesting to learn.
Now, if you've stuck around this far, you probably find this interesting too. These are natural formed anthills, and they were used to ventilate the tunnels. Remember how I said those booby traps were Vietnam's secret superpower? Well, these are some of the examples they had, and they looked gnarly. It's a very eye-opening thing to see that these were what were used. And I bet you would have never guessed this, but even the tracks of fallen American tanks and other metals found in the war were forged into weapons, and even the spikes found in the booby traps that were used against the Americans.
All right, we have One thing I never guessed I would have seen on a war museum tour is how to make rice paper. It starts out with a rice batter placed onto a flat top, turning into a crepe. They then place that onto these woven bamboo sheets and let it dry for about 4 to 5 hours. After heading back to the tour, we were shown how those holes and tunnels were actually dug, and all the dirt was lifted away. But we got to go into the tunnels, and I'll let you watch that. Oh, and remember, these have also been expanded for tourists to be able to fit through. They would have been much smaller during the war. It is so small in here. Oh, it goes deeper.
Yeah.
I'm basically having to crawl on my knees right now. It's very small. We are way under now. This is hard work.
Oh my gosh, that was a workout.
And those tunnels are even expanded to accept like bigger bodies than what were there before. It's pretty crazy. It was getting tight at the end.
Yeah, we could not go all the way to the end because it was like gonna be too tight for Tanner here.
But it's super interesting to like see all this stuff. I don't think I've seen something this like real,
Yeah.
like as a museum kind of experience, you know?
It was cool to definitely get to like walk through it. They would have been living down there.
Living down there,
For
yeah.
months.
My ears are kind of ringing because of the gunshots, but
Yeah.
One thing I always love about tours is trying the food that was actually eaten during the time frame that you're learning about, and in this case it was cassava eaten with a salt and peanut mixture. Our tour guide even said his family still eats cassava today. We didn't think it was too bad. Quite starchy though.
we have wrapped up at the Chu Chi tunnels, and now we are at Pho Ho Pasteur. It freaking looks delicious. I'm starving.
Ready to dive into this.
Let's start with the drinks.
I got a Vietnamese iced tea, which is honestly just plain iced tea, but it's really refreshing and really delicious.
Has a flavor of like a Chinese tea, more so.
Jasmine, maybe. It's really good.
And I wanted to try this for a while. We saw it on the street the other day. A sugarcane juice, so. I think it's really refreshing as well. Has a little like earthiness, but sweet and almost like a hint of like lime zest to it, I thought.
It's okay. It's not for me.
I really like it. As for the noodles, I got the number 12 here. Literally all the meats possible into one dish.
And I got the number 3, which is the well done beef flank. It is a lot thicker here than it was at the last place.
The noodles are a bit different. They're less thin. They're more like square. And we also got some summer rolls. There's been some debate in our TikToks before whether or not these fresh kind of spring rolls are what they're called. Apparently summer rolls here. Can we start with those?
Yeah. I'll take the smaller one.
I'm gonna dip it in here.
This peanut sauce looks so amazing.
Oh, it's got some kick to it. I think they've been letting these sit for a little bit because the rice paper is getting a little stiff again. But this peanut sauce, it's got a kick. They've used some chilies to flavor it.
They're definitely hard to chew through, but the flavors are there. They just brought us some lime, so we're gonna add that in.
That is a great pho broth.
I was just gonna say, off the bat, the pho broth here is so good compared to the last place we went. So much flavor. I like the noodles a bit more too because the last place they were like ribbons and they were really soft. These have a nice chew to them.
I got a dish with some tripe and tendon in it. The tripe is really clean and bouncy to bite through. The tendon, on the other hand, is a little bit of a chewier one. I think it could be stewed for a bit longer. Still a delicious soup nonetheless.
Comparing the meat to the last place we went to, I definitely preferred the thinner strips of it. This is not my favorite type of cut. Soup overall, I think, is a little bit better here.
Dinner was delicious.
The flavors were definitely the best so far. The meat just wasn't my favorite,
Not really my favorite either. I think it could have been thinner, juicier.
but still great place.
It was packed with locals, and that's one of the ways you know it's gonna be good. Now, as far as the Choo Chi tunnels go, I thought it was a very informative experience and a pretty cool kind of a museum experience as well. It was like living it. Like, we got to walk through the tunnels at the end and hear the gunshots from like people shooting the guns, so it was like my head was ringing at the end there as well.
The only thing I would say is things moved very fast. As soon as he was done speaking about whatever station we were at, we were moving. And we were a big group. We were 26 people, also with some tall guys. So by the time I was even able to see anything, the guide was already moving on, and I had kind of like missed him explaining it. So that was kind of a bummer to the tour. I would say if you have the money, definitely pay to have a smaller tour, like 8 to 10 people I think would be perfect. Too many people gets a bit hard, but I understand why we're moving so fast. There's a lot to see, and we only have about 2 hours. Just that was the only downside to our tour.
Yeah, just some more time there would be nice, and I think that's it for this video.
See you in the next one.